What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Wayback Wednesday. For the next couple weeks for Wayback Wednesday, what we're going to do is cover or commentate over the World Championships that have happened and have been recorded. And the first World Championship to be recorded was in 2011. And that was actually brought to us by the Top Cut. It actually wasn't Pokemon who did it. It was a Top Cut who came out and recorded the World Championship. So that's really cool. So what we're going to see right now is we're going to see them. We're going to see their video, and we're going to commentate over it. So, on the left, we have David Cohen playing his Magnezone Inboard deck with Inferno Fandango to attach all the fire energies he wants to Magnezone. Magnezone's got the Magnetic Draw. You have draw 6 cards in your hand, and it's got the Lost Burn attack. It does, I think, 60 times the amount of energies you put in the Lost Zone. Oh, it's 50. It's 50 times the amount of energies you put in the Lost Zone, which is pretty neat. And plus, we have the Lost Zone coming back. And on the right, we have Ross playing his Rogue deck, the Truth, as they call it, which is a Reuniclus Vileplume deck. So we see David is setting up. It looks like he did win the coin flip. Now, in 2011, you can use supporter cards on the first turn, and you can even attack. So we're going to see, David use supporter cards on the first turn. We're going to see him use an attack on the first turn. And in 2011, we have the baby Pokemon. We have cards like Pikachu and Cleffa and Tyro. We have all these really cool, interesting Pokemon that can attack on the first turn. And we'll definitely go over those as they come out. So we see David does start that Tepig, and Ross does start the Pichu. So no baby Pokemon for David, but he does have Collector. Collector is going to let you find 3 base Pokemon and put them into his hand. Now, David wants to get it set up super quick because he knows Ross is playing Vileplume or Reuniclus. Vileplume has the ability, basically makes it where you can't use items. And that's really important for David because David plays a bunch of Stage 2 Pokemon. So he wants to get these Pokemon as quickly as possible, start evolving them, getting it set up before Ross gets out Vileplume. And Ross also plays Reuniclus. I don't think Reuniclus is going to play too much into this game, but Reuniclus says, hey, if you can move damage counters on your side of the field any way you want to. So basically he can move around the energies anywhere he wants to and protect his Pokemon from being knocked out. And then he plays cards like Blissey Prime. Blissey Prime lets you heal all damage from all your Pokemon, but you do have to discard the energies. And we see David does get the Collector. Going to get a Cleffa, Reshiram, and Magnemite. And going to use the Eek. Now Eek is going to let you shuffle your hand to the deck and draw 6 cards. And if you notice, he flipped a coin there, and that's because when you use an attack, your baby Pokemon go to sleep. And what's cool about the baby Pokemon is they have a Pokebody that says, hey, this Pokemon's asleep. They cannot be hurt by damage. And what was really cool that David could have done if he played Tyrogue, he could have found Tyrogue. Tyrogue does 30 damage for no energy. Cleffa and Pichu that we both see in the active also have no energy attacks. And what they could do is Tyrogue can punch a baby Pokemon for 30 damage and knock them out because both of those baby Pokemon do have only 30 HP. But unfortunately, I don't think David plays Tyrogue. I played his World deck many times, and yeah, it definitely doesn't have the good old. It doesn't have the Tyrogue in there. But we see Ross on his side. Gonna start that Pichu. It has the Playground attack. He can both players can fill their bench with as many Pokemon. But we are going to see him use Collector. Collector's going to let him find 3 Pokemon. Start setting up his side of the field, and we'll see what he decides to do with. Now, on David's side, he does have the Reshiram. Reshiram has Outrage. It does 20, then plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on that Pokemon. And then I think it's like Blue Flare, and it does 120, discard 2 fire from it. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. Let's see if we can type it in real quick while Ross is looking at cards real quick. So Reshiram, Black and White TCG. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. Yeah, Blue Flare, 120, discard 2 fire energies, and outrage 20 plus 10 with the 130 HP attack. And that's pretty cool to say. It's like these Pokemon have 130 damage or 130 HP. So like Blue Flare doesn't knock out opposing Zekroms. Zekrom has a similar attack, but except it does damage to itself. So Reshiram can't one shot a Zekrom. Zekrom can't one shot a Reshiram and vice versa kind of thing. But we see Ross going to use Collector to find Oddish, Zekrom, and Phanpy. Now, what's good about Ross's deck is he really wants to get Donphan Prime out. Donphan Prime is a pretty good Pokemon at his fighting type, which is great against David's Magnemite. We see him just drop everything. The Solosis, Phanpy, Zekrom, and the Oddish. But Donphan has the Exoskeleton. Damage is reduced by 20. Earthquake does 60, but you do 10 to all of your bench Pokemon, and Heavy Impact does 90. So you can use Earthquake, do 60, do a lot of damage to those magnet zones. And we see David's turn. I'm going to evolve Tepig into Pignite. Going to put Pokemon to Communication, put a Deoxys Rayquaza Legend into... is it Rayquaza, Deoxys, Rayquaza? Rayquaza and Deoxys. Make sure we say it right, Josh. To get out Magnet Zone Prime. And if David does have that Rare Candy, he can get the turn 2 Rare Candy Magnet Zone Prime, and he does. Now he can start using Magnetic Draw. And we're going to see him use Energy Retrieval for just 1 energy. Now you're thinking, why is he doing that? Well, that's because, Ross can get a... he can get his Vileplume out ASAP, and you really want to protect your item cards and hurry up and just, use all your item cards you can before Ross gets out that Vileplume, just pretty much negating his own item cards. And we see switch into the Magnet Zone. Oh, no. I think he retreated the Cleffa into Magnet Zone, then switched into Cleffa, and now he's Magnetic Draw. Drawing, you have 6 cards in your hand. Just having that drawing engine. Really busted ability. Poke Power. Poke Power. Not ability. It's Poke Power. There's Poke Bodies and Poke Powers. There's no abilities in this format. So that is a Poke Power. I think the red ones are Poke Powers, green ones are Poke Bodies, if you're curious, if that means anything to you. But Pokemon did have 2 different types of abilities. There's Poke Powers and Poke Bodies. Now, we do see Junk Arm. Junk Arm is going to let you discard 2 cards from your hand and grab any item card or trainer card. And we're going to see him grab, looks like another Pokemon Communication. And going to put a Reshiram in the deck. Let's see what he decides to get here. Could maybe get another Magnemite, trying to get out multiple Magnet Zones. And yeah, there we go, Magnemite coming down. He wants to get those Magnet Zones into play as quickly as possible so he can draw through his deck as quickly as possible. That's the whole point of the deck. You just want to draw quick with Magnet Zone, use Emboar with Inferno Fandango, and we're just going to see a pass onto Ross's turn, which means Dave's hand must be somewhat good if he didn't Eek here, which is pretty interesting to note. Usually you want to Eek, but we do see the Duosion come down, so we just need more Pokemon to get that Reuniclus out. And let's see, does Ross have anything else? He hasn't done anything just yet. See David is tapping his fingers, just trying to see what are we going to do here. And does Ross have anything? It shouldn't use Playground either last turn, but Playground will let David fill up his bench too, so Ross probably doesn't want to do that. I imagine you only want to use Pichu when you don't start, or you only want to use Pichu when you don't start Collector. We just see a pass, and now David has that Emboar with the Inferno Fandango. Lets you attach as many Fire Energies as you want any way possible, right? So you can just dump Fire Energies, and this combos well with Magnet Zone with that Lost Burn, and that's a pretty cool attack. So we'll see what David decides to do. He's got a pretty interesting situation because, if he attacks with Reshiram, his cards get discarded, and if he goes with Magnet Zone, his cards go in the Lost Zone. So not really good attackers against Ross's deck. He could potentially power up Emboar. That could be something he could do. But we see Rare Candy got double Magnet Zone out with the Emboar. We see a Lightning Energy attach, and we're going to see this second Magnet Zone using that Magnetic Draw. So now David has double Magnet Zone out. That's pretty good. And let's see, what does he have cooking here? Like I said, the scary thing is if you go with Reshiram, you discard energies. If you go with Magnet Zone, you lost your energies. But Magnet Zone only needs 1 energy to attack. So see Fire Energy to the Reshiram, Fire Energy to Reshiram. So it looks like he's going the Reshiram route. But like I said, with Magnet Zone, there we go, they caught it. I'm pretty sure he used both already. Maybe not. I think that's what they're trying to figure out right now. Trying to figure out who's going to do it. But anyways, I think attack with Magnet Zone is probably the better idea. Because if you attack with Magnet Zone, you only have to Lost Bird 1 energy to knock out this Pichu. To knock out this Pichu coming up, you actually have to discard 2 Fire Energies, which can be pretty relevant, I think. And right now that Magnet Zone's not being threatened by Fanfy to be knocked out. It looks like the judge just caught it. I think they're trying to, yeah. So yeah, it definitely looked, he definitely used both of them. So that was great for the judge, just caught it. And now we're using Fresno's new theory. Fresno's theory is just shuffle your hand to the deck and draw 6 cards. Very, very strong card, very good. Just, helping you recycle through your deck. And let's see, does David find the energy to attack with this Reshiram? He still can attack with Magnet Zone because it's from anywhere. We just need the rescue energy here to catch a lightning per turn, so he can't do that. So we're going to go to double fire onto the Reshiram, actually. Okay. And is he just going to retreat and use Outrage? No, just going to pass. And like I said, he could have sent a Magnezone and attacked, but then that would activate Ross's Twins. When you're down on price cards, you can search for any 2 cards, which is really, really good. And maybe David just wants to, like, really set up, right? He wants to get a bunch of energies on the field before, start swinging. And in this time, there's no, like, Lysander or boss orders. There is, I think, only Reversal, if I'm not mistaken. I think Reversal is the only one that is really played, which pretty much like a catcher. So, the catcher of now, like, flip a coin of heads, bring a Pokemon up kind of thing. So I think that's the only card that's really being played. And a lot of people didn't play catchers anyway in their decks. It just wasn't that good. You just, like, swung it to the active, and that was how you played Pokemon back then. But we'll see. We see Ross. Is he using Playground right now? I didn't see him play any kind of item search card or anything. So he might just be using Playground to find another Zekrom. And yeah, that's what happened. So we're going to see the Pichu does stay asleep. So now that Pichu pretty much is immune to damage right now. So David can't do anything. We see a Rescue Energy going to the Reshiram. And we see Magnezone number 1. Nope, we're going to see a Collector. Collectors lets you put Pokemon to your hand. So he's allowed to play Collector, put Pokemon to his hand, supposedly, quote unquote. If he does have Pokemon in there, he's probably just using it to thin out his hand. And then he uses Magnetic Draw to draw a bunch of cards. Now, if you're curious, that Rescue Energy says, like, if this Pokemon's knocked out, it comes back into your hand instead of being discarded. So you pretty much can just reuse the Rescue Energy, or reuse that Pokemon. So Collector, not finding anybody like we thought, just, thinning out your hand, so you can use, Magnetic Draw number 1 to draw to have 6 cards in your hand. And I imagine we'll probably see some more energies being, rained down to the opponents or to your Pokemon. We see a Pokemon Communication. Once again, just thinning all these item cards out, saying, I don't need this item card. I don't need this item card. I don't need this item card. So put in, Import in the deck. It looks like he's grabbing Rayquaza Deoxys Legend. Now, the Legends are pretty cool. They are kind of like V-Unions that we have now. But Legends say, you can only play this if you have both cards in your hand. And Rayquaza has a Pokebody, Space Fires. If you take a knockout, you take 1 prize card. And Ozone Burster does 150, be the discard all fire energy. So that's a pretty good attack. 150 discard all fire. Take 2 prize cards in a format where you only give it 1 prize cards. But the Legends do give up 2 prize cards. This is like the first introduction that we see going into, multiple prize cards. And we see, David not really do anything, Ross not really do anything. We kind of have those, like, this weird stalemate going on. I think Ross is waiting for David to attack first. I think David's waiting for Ross to attack first. Who gets set up first kind of situation. And I still think David should probably attack with the Magnezone first, if anything. Like I said, you could just, like, Lost Burn, discard energies off any Pokemon. So he can, like, attach a Fire Energy to Magnezone and the Lost Burn of Fire off a bench Reshiram. And be good to go that way. But we'll see what David decides to do. If I remember correctly, I think he does go with the Reshiram. It's been a while since I've seen these videos. And we see a Lightning Energy going to Reshiram. We see Professor Oak's new theory. Going to shuffle, draw 6 new cards. And, like, the attachment of Lightning to Reshiram just, like, kind of, like, shows that he's definitely going to go for this Reshiram play. Which is not bad at all, I guess. I mean, Ross is not going to do any damage to a Reshiram. And then we see a Fire Energy going to Magnezone. Will we see it? That's the question. We see Magnetic Draw number 1. I think it's the first Magnetic Draw. And so he has 1 more if he wants to. I don't think he's used the first 2 of them yet. I think he's only used the 1. But we'll see. But I imagine, like I said, David, I think he wants to attack with Magnezone. That's definitely an awesome play. But you see here, he is attacking with the Reshiram. He's going to discard 2 Fire Energies if he wants to knock out this Pichu. If not, he could just Outrage it for 20 if he doesn't want to waste any of his cards. There we see a Communication, a Tepig. Once again, just thinning the hand out, thinning the deck out, saying, I don't need these item cards. I don't want them in my hand because if that Vileplume, or when that Vileplume comes down, it's going to shut down all my item cards. So, and we are just going to see 20 damage. We're really good here. All right, so there's 20 damage to that Pichu. And Reshiram is starting to party here. Good thing he did discard the Fire Me, David. He did make it to the final, so he knows what he's doing. But now the Pichu can live, and we see Communication from Ross. Now, what Ross could do is he could get out this Reuniclus, it just moved the 20 damage off Pichu and just move it somewhere else. But we see a Gloom coming down. Because, I mean, Ross could make it where, like, you're like, hey, David, you have to knock out my Pichu, and if not, I'm going to move the damage, and I'll move the damage. And that might not seem like it's that big of a deal to move the 20 damage, but eventually what you could do is have enough damage on the board, send up, Reshiram, or send up Zekrom, and use the Outrage to take a knockout on a Reshiram. But we do see a Tails on a David's turn, so I imagine David will go for this Outrage attack, knock out the Pichu, and which is going to unlock a lot of things for Ross. It's going to give him teammates. Being able to search deck for 82 cards is going to be really crucial here. We do see a Inferno Fandango attaching a Fire to G2 Magnezone. We do see a Magnetic Draw, drawing one card. Okay. And there we go. Here comes the knockout. Pichu is gone. And now onto Ross's turn. Everything is unlocked now. We no longer have Pichu down. We have Zekrom coming up. And Ross's deck is going to kick into full gear because this is what Ross wants. He wants to be behind on prize cards. He wants to use that teammates and just like search for any 2 cards in his deck and start setting up his Pokemon that way. So imagine, we saw a lot of draw passing. David, did his thing. He made sure he got set up, and there we go. Instantly we see teammates coming down, or twins, sorry. I keep saying teammates, but it's twins. Twins, if you're down on price cards, you can search deck for 82 cards. Teammates is if a Pokemon's knocked out, you can search deck for 82 cards. Kind of similar thing, but twins, you can always activate it, even if you're just behind. So you can be behind, use twins, find 82 cards, and so we'll see Ross probably grab maybe the Vileplume, maybe the Reuniclus, and start moving the damage and stuff like that, which is really good because now what does David do here? Next turn, he can Blue Flare. Discard 2 fires, do 122 to Zekrom, and that Zekrom will live. And then, so there we go. Yep, there's the Vileplume, there's the Reuniclus. Ross has got the setup on, he's got the setup now. Like I said, David can go for a, Blue Flare, discard 2 fires to do 122 to Zekrom, but then what Ross can do is move that 120 off the Reuniclus onto a bench Zekrom or something like that, if he wants to do that way. So we'll see what happens here. Like, Ross can make his, Zekrom pretty much, it can't be knocked out. So that's pretty cool. But we see, Outrage just doing 20 damage to the Reshiram. Going to slowly chip away at it. And you see Ross, he's already getting the damage counters out. He's ready to go. He's saying, all right, we're going to have this damage, this damage, this damage. And now Vileplume's on the field. Neither player can use item cards. It's not just your opponent. It is neither player can use item cards, which is pretty big deal because Ross can't use communications now, but he does access, the teammates. He can search 82 cards out of his deck. But David now is in a situation what do I do here? You can Outrage, sure, but then Ross is going to move the damage because your Outrage is going to do. And here we go. We see a Blue Flare doing 120. Oh man. Now on to Ross's turn. Now Ross could move the damage. That Reshiram has 110 HP left. So you could leave 90 on the active Zekrom, move 30 to the bench, and just swing for a knockout on that Reshiram if you want to get rid. But I don't know how beneficial that is. I think you'd rather just keep the Reshiram in the active spot and just move the damage off Zekrom. Just keep outraging. I think that's what we want to do here. But we'll see what Ross decides to do. And there we see another twins. Teammates, twins. There we go, twins. Gonna search for 82 cards. Probably wants to set up that Phanpy into Donphan. Donphan's gonna be the way to go. It's got, Earthquake 60 and 10 target Pokemon. You really don't care about that. What you care about is the second attack, Heavy Impact, doing 90 to one-shot those Magnezones. And that is why Ross's deck is so good. It's a straight counter to David's. You got this Vileplume that's gonna lock your opponent. This Reuniclus makes it where, your Pokemon doesn't get knocked out. You have Zekrom that can, knock out opposing Reshirams if they swing into you. You have this Donphan that can one-shot the Magnezones. It's a pretty cool deck. It was a rogue deck going into Worlds, and it even played Tropical Beach. I think Ross only played one Tropical Beach in his deck, and it was the Worlds promo. So, the night before, Ross was like, okay, let's put this in the deck. I'm going to play it. It's really good. I'm just going to Tropical Beach, draw to have 7 in my turn. So, yeah, it's a pretty good card. But it only is one of. So, that's the big thing, too. But we see Ross using Twins, searching his deck for 82 cards. Imagine what is he going for here? Maybe a Fighting Energy, maybe a Donphan Prime. Maybe getting Blissey. That could be something too as well. Blissey Prime is another good card. He could go for, I don't know. We'll have to see. There's a lot of things that are in Ross's deck. Don't want to give everything up just yet. There are some secrets that, if you've never seen this deck before in action, I'd rather keep it a secret if we can. All right. So we see Donphan Prime coming down. There we go. And imagine we might see an energy attachment. Maybe a rainbow, maybe a fighting energy. Those are the two big energies in Ross's deck that he would want to attach. Rainbow energy does take, does give Donphan damage, does take damage to the Pokemon. When you attach energy, but no, we see a double colorless energy going to Zekrom. And then we see, we're just going to go straight for it. Didn't move the damage at all, just want to keep it on the field. That's interesting. Okay. I think maybe don't keep move the energy, move the damage. Maybe just want to keep it on the Zekrom. I'm not 100% sure. But we see Outrage just taking the knockout. I don't know if keeping the damage on the field is beneficial or not. Because you're only moving 30, so but now the Restroom can one-shot the Zekrom, which is kind of interesting, right? No, is it 20 plus 10 for Restroom? Outrage is 20, but there's no damage, so it wouldn't have knocked out the Zekrom. Interesting. So now we can just see Restroom come up and swing. And I think that's a little bit of a, I don't know if that's a misplay or not, but like I said, Ross could have moved the damage off the Zekrom, moved 30 off, and we wouldn't see an Outrage attack that we see right here. So we see Outrage knocking out that Zekrom. Interesting. All right, so on to Ross's turn. Very interesting play by Ross. Maybe he just didn't want the damage on the field for some reason. Yeah, because he could have just took a knockout by moving 30 off. Or maybe I did the math wrong. But I'm pretty sure I did it right. Anyways, no, you only moved 20 off. I'm confused myself anyway. Anyways, let's not talk about it anymore. But Twins coming out once again from Ross. Back-to-back-to-back Twins. You get Twins for Twins as well, too. And that's what we might have seen here. But we see Ross just continuously just building his hand up, finding any 2 cards out of his deck. Like I said, you want to be behind on prize cards, and that's what we see here. Maybe Ross let David take the knockout so that way he can be behind on price cards and keep using Twins. Maybe that's another reason, too. That could be a reason behind it. But here we go. Entei Reiku Legend just came out. Once again, these Legend Pokemon, you have to attach you have to have 2 pieces in your hand to put it down. And Entei Reiku Legend has Detonation Spin. It does 90. Discard a Fire Energy attached to Entei and Reiku. And Entei and Reiku is also a Fire and Lightning type. And we see he also has Thunderfall. Discard all energy from Entei and Reiku. This attack does 80 damage to any Pokemon that has Poke Powers. So that could be a really big deal because there's 3 Pokemon on David's side of the field that have Poke Powers. So maybe Ross can set up a turn where he takes 3 prize cards, something like that. That could be really cool. But we see an Outrage to David, and on to David's turn. I don't think I missed anything. I think you see Entei Reiku Legend coming down, picking the damage from the Rainbow Energy. And now on to David's turn. What is David going to do here? Once again, he can't knock out the Zekrom. Blue Flare only does 120. You have to discard 2 Fire Energies. The good thing about Entei Reiku Legend is Fire and Lightning, so it doesn't really super counter any of David's cards. Detonation Spin is good. Just a vanilla 90. It's pretty strong. And we're seeing just 120 from Blue Flare. All right. So, David has a bunch of energies in the discard pile too, which is kind of bad because, now Ross can take a knockout, go down to 4. David takes a knockout, right? Goes down to 3. We'll have to see what goes from there. And on to Ross' turn, like I said, he can take a knockout with Zekrom. He can move damage once again off the Zekrom if he wants to, but I don't know if he's going to. He didn't do it last turn. So, yeah, he can move 3 off, right? 12, 90, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he can move 3 off. So, we'll see if he does that or not. Yeah, he can move 3 off. Leave Zekrom at 90. 90 plus the 2 is 111. Plus the 2 is 130. So, unless I'm doing their math wrong. But like I said, maybe Ross wants David to take knockouts, and that's why he is, leaving the damage on it. so he can keep using teammates or twins. So maybe that's the reason behind Ross not healing his Pokemon. That's the only thing I can think of, is he wants to keep using his good old twins. We do see a Rainbow Energy going down to Donphan Prime. Now, this is a pretty cool thing to do for Ross, because what can happen now is Ross is going to get knocked out on the Reshiram, and then David's going to come up. Oh, and we see the first turn of not using twins. We see Copycat going to shuffle his hand to deck and draw as many cards as David has. And imagine David has a bunch of cards because he has all those item cards just sitting in his hand. But anyways, like I was saying, Ross going to get knocked out on Reshiram, right? And then Magnezone comes up, takes a knockout on the Zekrom, and then Donphan Prime comes out and smacks a Magnezone for 180. And then, what does David do there? Because then he only has, like, 2 energies. He has to get, Inferno Fandango attached to a bunch. So, see how this kind of goes. It's slowly looking like it's going to Ross's favor, even though he's behind on prize cards. You can see how he's setting up these counters, right? We do see another Phanpy coming down from Ross' side of the field. Okay. And I imagine we will just see an Outrage for a knockout here. And once again, probably going to leave the damage on it. Yep, just going to leave the damage on it. So now we're tied up 4-4 in prize cards. Over to David's turn. Going to send the Cleffa. Okay. And let's see what David does here. I mean, he's got 2 Magnezones, but obviously he hasn't played any supporter cards in a good minute. We do see a Lightning Energy attached to the Magnezone. Going to retreat into the Magnezone. Oh, Rescue. That's Rescue Energy. Sorry, I apologize. Rescue Energy. So that Magnezone gets knocked out. It will go back into David's hand. Okay. The Magnemite will. But, like I said, David takes a knockout here. Donphan Prime comes up, swings for 180, knocks his guy out. Then what does David do? That's the big question. Reshiram has hit the field. Guess he's trying to play as many cards out as he can from his hand. And there we see David plays his own legend, own legend card. Rayquaza and Deoxys legend. It's crazy that we have a finals that both players are using legend pieces when going into Worlds. Legend cards weren't that very good. But like I said, that's that Pokebody ability where it takes an additional prize card, and Ozone Buster does 150. Really good attack. We see David, it's kind of struggling. Which card does he want to put in the Lost Zone? That Magnezone is getting knocked out. No matter what. It is getting knocked out. There's no way that Ross misses a Fighting Energy right here. He's got, the Rainbows, stuff like that. So sees Rescue Energy being put into the Lost Zone. I believe the Lost Zone is above the prize cards, and then we see the judges talking about that. I knocked all of the cards over, I'm sorry. So Lost Zone is above your prize cards if you're curious. And here we go. Ross has got this Donphan out. Going to move the damage with the Reuniclus. Going to move both off the Entei to Vileplume. Okay. And let's see, what does Ross have here? He's got to have a Fighting Energy. If he has a Fighting Energy, he can just, boom, just knock out this Magnezone. Put David at, what do you do then, David? What you got for me now? So let's see, does Ross have that Fighting Energy? That's going to be the big deal. Let's see. There we see his Changes Training. Look at top 5 cards of his deck. Put 2 in the hand and discard the rest. I think I see a Fire Energy or a Fighting Energy. So you see, that's a pretty cool card. Sage, look at top 5, discard 3, put 2 in your hand. We see Donphan Prime. Okay. Do we see the Fighting Energy or not? This will pretty much reset David. What do you do if you're David if he does this? Oh, does Ross not have the Fighting Energy? He's looking at his discard pile. He's like, did I really miss this Fighting Energy? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he has it. Okay, so Ross has the Rainbow Energy. Put the energy on the Donphan. Move it to the Reuniclus. And we will see. Woo, Ross scared me there for a second. I didn't think he had it for a minute. Yeah, going to take a knockout with that heavy impact. Doing 180 to that Magnezone. We're once again all tied up on prize cards. We see Professor Oak's new theory, going to shuffle, draw 6 new cards. Now, once again, that Rayquaza Deoxys Legend is very scary. It does 150. Donphan has 120. Exoskeleton makes it where it has 140, but Ozone Buster is 150 and takes 2 prize cards. We see a Fire Energy being attached. He needs 2 more Fire Energies. Now, David has used a bunch of Fire Energies, which is kind of scary. We see another Cleffa come down from David, and we're going to see an Eek. Going to shuffle his hand to deck and draw 6 cards. And heads, that Cleffa does stay awake, which means Ross can knock it out with an Earthquake if Ross wants to go up on his prize cards for the first time in this game. Wow. Okay. Now, if David has a Fisherman lets you get like 5 basic energy or your discard pile put into your hand. That's gonna be really good. I don't know if David plays that or not. But man, look at this counter, like just like back and forth kind of fighting. I know it's kind of like silly because they're single price Pokemon, but this is really exciting. This is really fun games. We see Sage is training. We see Ross gonna look at top 5 cards of his deck. Gonna put 2 in the hand and discard 3. Look, there's 1. Okay, he's for sure said I need this card right here. This is the card I need. And grabs another card, discarding. Oh, he discarded Tropical Beach. He said, yeah, I don't need this card. I don't need Tropical Beach. I don't need that Tropical Beach. Let's get out of here. Oh, man. Okay, and let's see what Ross decides to do here. Like I said, he could Earthquake and knock out the Cleffa and put 10 damage to everybody, which might not seem that relevant, but put the 10 damage on everybody could power up a Zekrom to take a knockout if need be. He could just do like 90 damage and just knock out the Cleffa. He might just pass and not knock out the Cleffa, which I think would be really crazy to see that one. I think what we want to see here is we want, Ross probably touch energy to the Raikou and Suicune Legend. Get that ready to go. And then maybe try to do... I don't know. We'll see. Because it gives up 2 prize cards, which is a scary thing. So let's see what Ross does here. What does Ross do here? So we see the Fire Energy attached to the Entei Suicune. Okay. Now you can't retreat that Donphan. That Donphan, he is a big guy. You don't want to retreat him and lose all those energies. But we do see the second attack do a 90, taking a knockout. All right. Now David and Ross is finally up. After being behind all this game. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. And we see Fisherman. Oh my goodness. So here's a Fisherman from David. Gonna get 5 energies out of his discard pile and put them into his hand. Looks like he only has 4. Is Fisherman 4 or 5? Maybe it's only 4. But what can happen now is he can just let those energies rain onto the Magnezone. Send the Magnezone and blow it up. Oh my goodness. Oh, man. So he needs this card. He needs the Lost Zone 3 to do 150 minus 20. It will be enough. So, wow. Okay. Out of nowhere, drops the Fisherman. Now it's off a Cleffa Eek, too. So that is very lucky. David probably only plays 1 Fisherman. Drew it off the Eek. Oh, man. So we can see, he has to discard 4, right? Yeah, you got discard. You got Lost Zone 4. I forgot about that because it's 150 minus 20, but he also has resistance, so it's minus 40. I forgot about that. Resistance is key. He had a Lost Zone 5. Whew. What is going to happen now? Oh, man. All right, we'll see what happens here. David is down to 2 prize cards. All he's got to do is, knock out the Entei Suicune if he wants to. But we'll see if Ross even sends up the Entei Suicune. He could send up just like Donphan. That could be something he could do here. But he might not have enough energies left. I don't know how many Rainbow energies he's used and stuff like that. That could be a pretty big deal. We'll see Ross is trying to debate, what do I do here? He's trying to see how many energies has David play. We know he got some energies back with that Fisherman. Yeah, this is a pretty big decision here because he can set up Entei Suicune and do some damage, right? It's not going to take a knockout on anybody. It's going to do 90 and discard a fire, or discard all, do 80 to anybody that has Poké Powers, right? Or you set up Donphan and do Earthquake for 120 if you have a Rainbow Energy or Fighting Energy left. Now, I don't know what's in Ross's hand, obviously. I have no idea what he has in there. But either way, it's not looking good for Ross right now. Because, how do you win? Your only hope now is, David pretty much decks out, I think. Now, if Ross was to set up the Donphan, I think he can, take enough hits. Because I don't know if David can get 5 energies again to really take a knockout. So I think if I'm Ross, you set up the Donphan and you try to deck out David. I think that's what we try to do here. But we'll see what Ross decides to do. Yeah, looks like he's going to send in the Entei Suicune Legend, okay? And like I said, it does 90 It's not going to knock out, and he had discard a Fire Energy. I don't think he's going for Thunderfall here. Oh, man. You're in a tough spot if you're Ross. I don't know how you win right now. I think if you set up Donphan, you can buy you a couple turns and maybe deck out David. Looks like he does have a double colors in hand. Which it doesn't really do too much. I guess it makes it where you can attack back to back because you have Rainbow plus Fire. Then we see another Rainbow Energy, so do a 10 to the Itay Suicune. Then he can just move it to re-enter close, move it to Vileplume wherever he wants to. And then, yeah, I guess we're going to see a 90 here. I guess Ross is just hoping that David just doesn't have the energies to attack. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just hoping that David doesn't have the energy to attack. If he has a lightning and a fire, David wins game 1, and we'll go to game 2. It is best 2 out of 3. It is Worlds, so we'll see what happens. It also is a time limit, too, that we had to think about. So, yeah, so we're going to see, looks like 90 damage coming down. What did he flip for? I had the wrong card pulled up this whole time. Oh, my goodness. All right, hold on. We got to pause this real quick. I've had Entei Reiku pulled up. I've been reading the wrong call the whole time. It's Entei Suicune, Josh, not Entei Reiku. Oh, my goodness. That's my fault, guys. I apologize. Oh, man. That was a huge misplay on my part. Anyways, Entei Suicune has Torrent Blade, return 2 Water Gene from Suicune Entei to your hand. Choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This act does 100 damage to it. Oh, man. Yeah, it's fire and water. Oh, no. The water directly counters the Reshiram's. That's my fault. But what we cared about is attack number 2. Bursting Inferno does 80. The defending Pokemon is now burned. Oh, man. I messed up the whole time. But anyways, David had the energies anyways to knock out the Suicune and Entei. I was looking at Reiku and Entei because that was the more popular one. That's why I see a bird flip going on right now. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I had the wrong card pulled up. But David does have enough energies, and he just knocks out the Entei and Suicune. Let's go to game number 2. Hopefully, I think it just will cut straight to it on YouTube. If not, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that was a huge misplay. My fault. I'm sorry, guys. We'll play now. We'll go to game number 2. And here we go. Magic of YouTube. Thanks to Top Cut. We're going to game 2. Let's go. Let's go ahead and fast forward some. We're going to watch. We don't need to shuffle. Watch them shuffle. Power shuffling. Oh, my goodness. Somebody get the police out. Power shuffling. All right. On to game 2, let's see what happens. I imagine Ross is going to opt to go first. Like I said before, going first, you can attack. You can use supporter cards. And we see Ross does open with that Oddish, a card he doesn't really want to start with. And how do you win now if you're Ross? You have to win 2 games in a deck that you have to super set up. And so that is going to be the question on everybody's mind. How do you win now if you're Ross? Because Ross is on a time clock, right? And that is very scary. This is one of the problems with playing a control-style deck, right? When time is cold, how do you win? So that's what we're going to try to figure out during this game 2. Ross is going to play fast, take quick knockouts somehow, and win this game. We see Collector from Ross getting Oddish, Solosis. It's Solosis, Duosion, and Rhea-Necklace. I've played the card before. I should know this. And let's see what grab number 3 is. Maybe just, okay, we're going to switch out Cleffa. Oh, we're going for some Eeks here. I like it. Hey, so you know what? My Oddish is not getting knocked out. I don't need a second Oddish. I can just tap into Retreat and go for an Eek. And I imagine we'll see a Phanpy. Oh, look at that. I'm so smart. I'm so good at Pokemon. I'm so good. And I imagine we'll see a attached to Oddish Retreat and Eek for 6. To try to bind a bunch of new cards. Boom, boom, boom. Fire Energy attach. I don't think he attached a Rainbow. Oh, we are going to attach a Rainbow. Oh, okay. And actually, we go for the first attack. I have no idea what it does, but it flip tails. Maybe it's like paralyzation or something. We see a Fire Energy go into the active. Professor Oaks. Oh, my goodness. We could be in a situation where, like, David just whiffs everything, right? in like turn 2, Ross rare candies or goes into like Donphan or something and just take a knockout? Does Tepic have 60 or 70 HP? That's the big question right now. We'll see. Okay, he got another Tepic, so he's good. He's good. And we're just see attack. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that attack does. Probably 10. They probably put 20 on the Oddish. Oh my goodness. We had a Tepic and an Oddish attack. In the Game 2 of the World Championship in 2011. That is crazy. We see a Collector. Probably finding Zekrom. And maybe another Phanpy. Okay, Oddish. Ooh, a second Oddish. Okay. Maybe the first Oddish is Sacrificial Oddish. So you know I don't care about this Oddish. You knock out this Oddish. I don't care. Maybe it's like that play where you like let your Oddish get knocked out so you could twins. Is that the play? Is that what we're seeing right now? We see a Zekrom. Okay, we knew the Zekrom was going to come down. And a Chansey. Okay. Once again, these go into his hand. They don't go into the bench. So it's not like Bridget here. They do go into your hand. So we see Oddish. We see Zekrom. And we might just see Oddish just attack again. And here we go. Yep, just going to see Oddish attack. It is another Tails. Or maybe it's a Heads. Oh, I don't know what the Oddish does. Okay, it looks like it is a Heads because look at he searches deck. Oh, it finds your search deck for a grass Pokemon and put it in your hand. Whoa, busted. Okay. Or to David's turn. Let's go. Wow. Okay, that means Ross probably has rare candy in hand if he's getting the Vileplume out, right? We see Pignite come down. And we see a Collector from David himself. Going to find 3 Pokemon, put them down. Maybe find Cleffa, Magnemite, and Magnemite because you already have Tepig. That could be really good. So, yeah, Cleffa, Magnemite, and Magnemite. Retreat to Cleffa. But we see a Magnemite, Reshiram, Cleffa. Okay, just want to get 1 Magnemite out right now. Fair enough. We'll see the retreat into Cleffa. And let's see what else does David have. Let's say he's got a Rescue Energy. Putting that on the Magnemite. And then we'll see Eek shuffle the hand to deck and draw 6. And hence, that Cleffa is awake, which is pretty important. Because we're in a situation right now where prizes do matter. Because we're in Game 2. And that first game took like 30-something minutes. And I think it is like best 2 out of 3, 55 or something like that. Or 50. It's not like the 70-something we have now. So that's a pretty big thing to point out. But on a Ross turn, that Cleffa is awake, so Ross can knock it out. It is not safe. And there is the Rare Candy Vileplume saying, you know what, David? You're not using Rare Candy at all this game. Get out of here. You're not using your Rare Candies to find your Magnet Zones. Hopefully, David plays a Magneton. I'm pretty sure he does. Back in the day, people did play like Magnetons and Pignites and stuff like that. We see that's what we see going on here. We see Cleffa come up, and we'll see an Eek Ross as well. We do have a Seeker. Seeker allows you to put 1 Pokemon into your hand. And there we go. I'm going to pick up that Oddish. And you know what? I don't need this Oddish anymore. Sacrificial Oddish doesn't matter anymore. We're going to pick it up. So it's not a liability. It doesn't take up a bench spot. And we'll just see an Eek of itself. So you have double Eeks going on here. But, I mean, David's okay with this. He's okay that Ross is taking a second. Because, you know, David's already up a game. He doesn't really care that much. I mean, he still wants to, like, get set up and win. But the longer that Ross takes to take prize cards is better for David. So that Cleffa stays awake for Ross. We see a Lightning onto the Magnemite. Let's see what else. We'll see an Eek from David. Now, once again, we are under item lock. So David, that Cleffa goes to sleep too and will not be damaged. But we are under item lock. So like David can't use communication to find his Magneton. Which is a pretty big deal here. We see Sages from Ross. Now, this is where Sage is like really important because Ross can discard the item cards he doesn't need anymore because he is set up. Or he's got at least the Vileplume set up. So he can discard like item cards he doesn't need because those aren't going to be very useful anymore. And at this point, you're just trying to find Pokemon and energy cards. And so that is a big deal with Sage's training and why it's in Ross's deck. Looks like he can grab those 2 cards. And imagine the 3 he's going to discard are going to be item cards that he doesn't need. Ooh, I see a double colorless energy. Ooh, that's a pretty big deal. Twins, double colorless energy, and a Tropical Beach. Once again, Tropical Beach just being thrown away. Oh my goodness. That's a very expensive discard pile. Well, I guess at the time it wasn't very expensive. Like maybe like a $5 discard pile, maybe. I don't know. Another Faith has to come down. Does Ross have an energy attachment? No energy attachment either. Wow, okay, so we're both just chilling here. We're both just eking, flipping coins, seeing who gets hurt. And Tails, that Cleffa is now asleep. Oh my goodness. And David flips, and he's asleep too. So we have double Cleffas. We're just chilling here. Twinboar has made an appearance on David's side. And oh, he does have the fire energies. And now he can't use Eek because his Cleffa is asleep. Wow, okay. And looks like we see a pass from David, of course. Tails, that Cleffa stays asleep. Ross, Tails, oh my goodness! We got back-to-back turns of Cleffas just chilling. They don't even know what's happening right now. Cleffas are just, they're just sleeping. They're just chilling right now. Oh my goodness. So that means Ross can knock out David's Cleffa if he had an opportunity to do that with like a fighting energy or something. Wow. Well, I mean, he couldn't anyway because Cleffa's protected because it's asleep too. We are both players we're just sleeping right now. Discards Vileplume, Sage, and something else. We see a Rainbow Energy to the Donphan. So far, no Duosion just yet. We want to see that Duosion to get the Reuniclus out. But, I mean, Ross is going to have to pass once again. Oh, my goodness. The Cleffins are just, they're just tired. They had a busy weekend playing the World Championship. Looks like it is heads. It's tails. David is still sleeping. Bro, his club has been asleep for like 5 turns, man. He said, I'm tired. I'm tired, Dad. I've been working all weekend. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see what David has here for Collector. Getting Cleffa, Magnemite, and Tepig. Okay. Once again, all 3 aren't going to hit the field because that's impossible because that's 6 Pokemon down. You only have 5 on your bench. So we'll see. There's Magnemite and Cleffa, which makes me think that David has multiple Magnetons. And heads, that Cleffa is asleep. On to Ross's turn. So Ross could be the first one to take a prize card here with an Earthquake. And, I mean, David is not set up at all right now. He does have Imbor. We do see a Rainbow Energy going to the Donphan. We see Professor Oak's new theory. And Ross really wants to find this Duosion. He wants to get that Duosion out so he can get, Reuniclus and make it where, David really can't take a knockout. Wow. All right. Let's see. Does Ross find a Duosion? I think he plays a 2-2-2 line in his deck. And does he have the Duosion or not? And if he doesn't, does Ross just eat too? Oh, man. Let's see. What does Ross decide to do? Because, eventually Ross will need to start taking prize cards. David, like I said, is up a game. So David does not care too much right now. Of course, he wants to be taking prize cards and stuff like that. But we shall see. And we just see an Eek from Ross. Oh, my goodness. And you know what? I don't want to tackle with Donphan. I want to be able to use my twins. I want David to take the first knockout here. And it's heads. Okay, so Cleffa is awake. So David can take a knockout on Ross's Cleffa. We got a Cleffa war going on here. All right. And let's see what David decides to do here. Looks like he's also going to Eek. And it's heads. So both Cleffas, we're just chilling the active spot. Once again, I think David's fine. I think David's fine with doing this. He really could attack regardless, right? What could David do, right? He can attack with Magnemite, maybe. That's pretty much it. And are we seeing Oak right now from Ross? I think we're seeing Oak. Yeah, so both players cutting. Both get 6 cards. There's so much interaction going on right now. I think they're talking about the interactions. Yeah, Cleffa is definitely awake right now. Ross played Oaks. Okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, maybe Dave. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ross had used Eek, so now his Clef is asleep. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on here. Fire Energy to Reshiram, Professor Oaks, and of course, what David's looking for is Magneton. He's looking for Magneton to get out of Magnet Zone. I know for sure David does play one Magneton. He wants to find that Magneton so he gets Magnet Zone. But you're just blindly shuffle, draw 6, shuffle, draw 6. Juniper, I don't think was a card just yet. I don't think so. Or maybe it was. Yeah. Actually, it was, right? It was, but people just didn't play it as much. Fire Energy Attachment, and here we go. Another Eek here. Heads. So both Cleffas are chilling right now. Both staying awake. We see Donphan come down. Okay. And let's see. Does Ross finally attack here? Rainbow Energy to Donphan. Does he have the Reuniclus? Copycat. Gonna get 6 cards here. We know David has 6 because he just eked. Oh my goodness. What is going to happen this game? Okay, here we go. Yeah, neither player's taking a prize card just yet. 6 cards from the Copycat. Does Ross find the Duosion? That's what we want to see. We want to see the Duosion. So you go to Reuniclus. You can move the damage off for Donphan. I think if he finds Duosion this turn, you start attacking. Oh my goodness. We're going to see a swing. Here we go. First swing of the game. Maybe? Alright, here we go. Earthquake is coming down. Taking the first knockout. Oh, man. Everybody take a 10 damage here, everybody. Everybody get some damage here. Now, Ross has to be careful because that Solosis only has 30 HP. So, we see David's turn. David's going to play his own twins. Going to guarantee him the Magneton and Magnezone. Most likely. Oh, my goodness. David with his own team, his own twins. Saying, you know what, Ross? You're not the only one who plays twins. Oh, man. Okay. This is exciting. Oh, yeah. I imagine twins have found Magneton and Magnezone. I imagine that's what he found there. So. But, David can't take a knockout this turn. The max he can do to that Donphan is 100 damage. Because, Blue Flare does 120, but then minus 20 because of Exoskeleton, which brings that Donphan up to 110 damage. So. And there's good old Magneton. I knew David played Magneton. Okay. But will we see an Eek? Will we see a pass? It looks like we will see... We could see an Outrage here. That could be a really good attack too. Oh no, Outrage would do 0 damage actually. That would be a terrible idea. Don't do Outrage. It would do 0 because Exoskeleton. Yep. So you have to do the second attack. There we go. We see... Oh, there's the Duosion. Saving the day for Ross. Okay. And what we could see here is, Earthquake, soften up that Reshiram. And then what can happen then is Ross can get out his Reuniclus and then have enough damage for that Zekrom to, one-shot at Reshiram at some point, too. Interesting. So, but David's got to have an energy here. Does David have an energy? If he doesn't have an energy, he can't Outrage. Okay, there's Outrage. So I think Outrage will take a knockout right now. I think it's doing 80 minus 20, 60. So that should be plenty to knock out this Donphan and get David at 5 cards. Yep, that's what we see here. Alright, so on Ross's turn, he set up Cleffa for sure. Oh no, we're going straight to Zekrom. We're not wasting any time here. Cleffa has free retreat, so you can always set him Cleffa in retreat. They receive the Reuniclus, and this is what I was talking about a second ago. Ross can move those damage counters around, making it where he can knock out that Reshiram. That Reshiram has 60, so it needs 70, which means that Zekrom needs 50 damage on it to take a knockout, right? So see the manipulation of damage thanks to Reuniclus on Ross's side of the field to give it at 5. We see that 5 on there pretty easily, so that's nice. And going to take a knockout, going down to 4. And let's see what David does here. He could attack with that Magnezone, but if he attacks with Magnezone, he'll instantly get knocked out by Ross's Donphan. So we see an Eek here. Going to shuffle. It is Tails, so that Cleffa would not get hurt this turn. That's pretty important to note. Okay. Yeah, but if Ross... like I said, if David attacks with this Magnezone, it just gets instantly knocked out by that Donphan that has 3 damage on it. We'll see the 5 probably getting moved from whoever to the other Zekrom. Really doesn't matter. David can't really take a knockout on any of those bench Pokemon. And we just see a pass. He could hypothetically Outrage as to do damage. We see a pass onto David. David flips Tails. So Cleffa is asleep, which means David really can't do anything. I guess hypothetically, David can just hope to stay asleep forever and maybe deck out Ross that way. So that could be something that could be really cute. And what could David really do right now? Really, right? So it is awake. Uh-oh. So what can happen now is Ross can move 1 damage counter up to the Zekrom and take a knockout. We see Sage. Alrighty. But now if you're David, how do you win this? Like I said, you put 1 damage card on Zekrom. Zekrom takes it, take a knockout, go down to 3. Ross could, like, hypothetically, like, take a knockout with Magnezone, but, like, that's not going to work. If you set up Twinboar has, like, 150 HP, I'm pretty sure. So, I guess it hypothetically can't be knocked out straight away, but you can, like, do some chip damage, something. David's definitely, like, in the losing seat right now. So see, 1 damage on the Zekrom, 4 on the Vileplume, we'll just move around the damage once again. And, yep, we see a knockout going down to 3. Let's see, what does David do here? Gonna send the Magnemite, okay. But, man, look at David's hand. It's just full of cards he just doesn't need, really. And there was he 4 fire just going to his hand. I guess, like, he could attack with the Twinboar this turn. I don't know what that Twinboar's attack does. I know it needs 4 fire energies. But there's no way it's one-shotting that Zekrom. Which is a scary thing. So there we go. 4 fire energies own that Twinboar. I don't know what it does, but it definitely doesn't one-shot the Zekrom. So see, the retreat, it needs 1 energy to retreat, I'm pretty sure. Going to send the Twinboar. Twinboar will attack, not take a knockout. And like I said, Ross can manipulate the damage on his side of the field, making sure that Zekrom does not get knocked out. Going into Dave's turn again, and he should be okay. So, all right. So there we go. On to Ross' turn. Once again, I don't think Ross can knock out this Twinboar. I think he has 150 HP. If it has like 130, then it could get knocked out. Maybe I can look it up real quick while we're waiting on Ross' turn. Twinboar. So it has 150 HP. He crashes a vanilla 80. So there we go. Okay. So, what Ross is doing here is actually really smart. He's putting it at 4 and making it where if he uses Heat Crash next turn, it only does 80, which doesn't knock out a Zekrom because Zekrom has 130 HP. We see Seeker picking up a Zekrom. Okay. And we might see Chansey. Oh my goodness. There's an not Entei Reiku, Entei Suicune. There we go. And he can power this up because it can snipe the Twinboar. Interesting. Where did David's Magnemite go? Was there a Magnemite on David's field? Where did it go? Hold on. Hang on 1 second, guys. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna rewind this real quick. Where does this Magnemite go? So see, Ross manipulate the damage. Okay. Oh, Seeker makes it where both players pick a Pokemon. That's what it is. Sorry. That's my fault. Seeker makes it where both players had to pick up a Pokemon. Whoops, I forgot about that. Yeah, each player returns 1 of their bench Pokemon up. Okay, so that's what happened. I was like, where did it go? But I forgot Seeker both players picked up 1 bench Pokemon. That's my fault. It's been a minute since Seeker. So, I should know exactly what Seeker does. I've played it a lot as well, too. It's just been a minute since I've seen it. But anyways, 80 damage coming down to the Twinboar. But, I mean, David gets all those fire energies back, if that means anything. But anyways, I think David's, like, in a bad position regardless. Like, what do you do here? 80, don't take a knockout. And then Ross knocks you out. It has, like, it has Donphan plus Entei Suicune Legend ready to take a knockout the following turn. So you see 80 to the Zekrom, not taking a knockout once again. And I imagine we'll see the damage being moved. You could just keep all 120 on that Zekrom and just like swing for huge numbers. But we'll see if David wants to keep the damage or not. That's the question here. Looks like he's going to manipulate it, of course. Alrighty. And now we see Outreach for knockout of the Twinboar, going down to 2. And if time was called, I mean, Ross is definitely up a game, or has enough prize cards to take a game, regardless right now. So that's good for Ross. I don't know what time is called or if time even gets called this round. I can't remember how it works. They got some cameras moving. Okay, we got some camera moving all of a sudden. But we see Magnezone coming up. We could see, Lost Burn, but you can't accelerate energies anymore. David will have to Lost Burn 2 energies. What is happening with the camera? Is an earthquake. Okay, so there's 2. Lost Zone to 2, take a knockout. But then Ross can send up the Donphan Prime, take a knockout, go down to 1, and then David can't survive, and then Ross will go make it a game number 3. I think is what we're going to see here happening. Zekrom comes down. Zekrom just adding, more fuel to the fire. You can just, one-shot whoever, as well as the Anti-Suicune. They can just one-shot a Reshiram. Yeah, it's not looking good for David. If you're a fan of David's Magnezone inboard deck, it's not looking good for him right now. There we go. See a knockout. Rescue Energy puts the Magnezone back into his hand plus Magneton. But we're down to 1 prize card. We can put down Magneton, but that's not going to do anything. And we go to game number 3. All right, guys. Here, game number 3. Let's pull it up and find it, and let's see what happens. Wow. All right. Alrighty, guys. We're going to shuffle up for game number 3. Let me go ahead and fast forward past the shuffling. We don't care about the shuffling at all. But, man, Ross getting the turn, 2, turn 3, Vileplume. Pretty much just shut David down the whole game. And I think at this point, time has been called. I think that's what they're trying to figure out right now, is how do they do time. Yeah. I guess what's happening. I think game 1, game 2 took so long. We're not in game 3 situation where time has been called, and I think both players have 1 prize card to take, if I remember correctly. I could be crazy, but I think it's just 1 prize card. We're both looking to see, is this what we want? It's a very important game. Number 3, David will be going first because he did win, and there we go. Just 1 prize card. Whoever takes the first prize card will win this game. Now, both players do have a somewhat of aggressive deck. David could get a turn 2 out of nowhere, but Ross does play Donphan. Oh, we're flipping too. In Tails, I don't know who won the coin flip, but I forgot, since we're setting for game number 3 and time has been called, that's how it works. Oh man, he starts Magnemite. Interesting. That Magnemite could be knocked out by a Donphan. So see communication, put in Magnezone. And you gotta be careful here, because you could put down Cleffa, but Cleffa could stay asleep. So that is a concerning thing for David. And we see communication, gonna shuffle, draw 6 new cards. So you can eke it to Cleffa, but the Cleffa could stay asleep, but then it could wake back up going to Ross's turn. It could get knocked out to a Donphan. So that could be really scary. So we'll see if that's something that can happen. David could hit the turn 2 Rare Candy, Emboar plus Magnezone. That's a lot to ask for, but David does play Junk Arms. We haven't really seen David play Junk Arms too much, just because of, Vileplume being a thing. But David, that is something David could do. I do see a Magnezone in his hand. Looks like maybe a Rescue Energy. But outside of that, I'm not sure what else is in there. Oh man, just 1 prize card to each player. That's crazy, man. What are we going to do here? Got the Rescue Energy to the active. And like I said, we could retreat and Eek. But that is scary. And do we just see it? Okay, we'll just see a pass. On to Ross's turn. Alright, now what can Ross do here? Now this is actually a pretty big deal for Ross too, because he has the Fanfy in the active. If David gets a turn 2 breaking the Magnezone Lightning, he can do 100 and just knock out this Fanfy and become a world champion. We do see Sage Train and look at the top 5 cards of his deck. Go to discard 3, keep 2 in hand. Oh man, this is oh man, it's crazy. I wonder why Ross, I guess if you're Ross, you're trying to get the turn 2 knockout with Donphan plus Fighting Energy. So that is maybe the reason behind it, right? If you're David, you're also trying to get the turn 2 double energy knockout kind of thing going on here. So, and the interesting thing about this too is you flip to see who goes first after you're set up. Because if you flip before you set up, I think that would have changed like everybody's like, situation of what they started with, right? Because like if Ross knew he was going second, I think he would have started the Zekrom and not the Phanpy, right? So it is interesting ruling there that we don't have anymore, that you flip after you set up. So that's pretty cool. Yo, if anybody has these like 2011 playmats, I would definitely want one of those. Man, that looks so sick. Especially the black one, like Skateboard Pikachu. That looks so sick. I wonder how much those mats are. I have no idea, but that's something I would definitely play. Oh man, if I had one, I imagine like super expensive though, right? 2011, it's like 10 years old right now at this point. But anyways, waiting for Ross to see what he's going to do with the Sage training. I imagine there is no time right now. It's pretty much an unlimited time to see who takes the first prize card. Looks like he's going to discard a Blissey, Donphan Prime, and a double colorless, almost a DTE. See an Oddish come down. This is kind of interesting. If you're Ross, maybe you touch like the double colorless retreat into Zekrom, but on David's turn, he needs Rare Candy Magnezone plus energy to win the game right now. There's a Rare Candy Magnezone. Oh my goodness. David just needs a lightning energy. And then he becomes a world champion. Oh man, what does David have here? We see Junk Arm. Okay, so he can discard 2 cards, grab the Rare Candy, and then he can Magnetic Draw for at least 3, maybe 2. 1, 2, 3. He's got the lightning energy. He's got the 2, and David will become our world champion. Oh my goodness! Look at Ross's hand. He has Rare Candy Vileplume, and his next card was gonna be Copycat. Oh my goodness! Wow! So David becomes our world champion. Get a turn 2 Magnezone plus Magnetic Draw to win. After a crazy game 1 and game 2, it goes down to 1 prize card, and David Cohen becomes our 2011 world champion. It's probably one of our best world championship finals. I mean, it's a really good finals. But like I said, we're going to cover all the world championships. Going to commentate them all. TFK commentates worlds. Let's go. Congratulations to David for winning in 2011 with his Twinboar Magnezone deck. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Hit that subscribe button. It looks funny when Dave turns sideways. Alrighty, guys. Bye.